Good afternoon, everyone. I am Miguel Flores, PBC ring announcer, and I want to welcome all the media and fans here in attendance for our press conference as we welcome you here to the Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada, as we get you set for a triple header live on Showtime for an all action-packed card here from the Theater Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada, in the fight capital of the world. It is headlined by Erickson the Hammer Lubin as he takes on rising contender Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora in a 12th round for the interim WBC Super Welterweight Championship. That is our main event. In our co-main event, we have the return of former WBC Super Welterweight Champion Tony Superbad Harrison as he takes on Sergio El Nino Garcia in a 10-round Super Welterweight clash. And then obviously opening up our telecast, we have Brian Goodfella Perella as he faces undefeated Kevin Salgado in a very tough 10-round Super Welterweight bout. Once again, it will be live on Showtime this Saturday night, April 9th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. And of course, it is all promoted by TGB Promotions, as we see the Vice President here in attendance, Brittany Goosen Brown. And it is also promoted by Samson Boxing. Samson Lukowitz also here in attendance. That man has one of the best eyes for talent in boxing today. Of course, tickets for the live event are still on sale. You can get your tickets at axis.com. That is AXS.com. Once again, you can still get your tickets there. All right, we're going to open things up, starting off with our opening bout. That will kick things off, Brian Goodfella Perella, who's coming in at 17 victories, 14 by knockout. Opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw as he's taking on Kevin Salgado, who is undefeated, 14-0 with 9 wins by knockout in a 10-round Super Welterweight bout. And now I'll turn things over to our fighters. And first off with you, Brian Perella, as we look to you, you fought a man that is also here on this stage in your last bout, Tony Superbad Harrison, who is going to be featured in our co-main event, and we'll get to him in just a few moments. That fight ended up in a draw. What did you think of that performance? First off, did you feel like you won that fight? And what did you learn about that going up against a former world champion?
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of this event, Showtime, TGB Promotions, Al Heyman, for getting me on this platform. The Tony Harrison fight was amazing. It was, a great experience for me. I've only learned so much and evolved into a whole nother fighter since that fight, and because of that fight, Tony Harrison's a heck of a fighter, and he should get any flack for how that fight went. I'm a very difficult person to be in the ring with, and I'll be looking to show that Saturday night.
One thing I don't think people realize is your resume is pretty stacked with a lot of notable names. You're someone that has been willing to fight a lot of guys that the boxing world knows very well. I mean, you fought Yordenis Ugas, who is now the current WBA welterweight champion, who we'll see on Showtime pay-per-view next week, against Errol Spence Jr. You have fought, obviously, the former world champion, Tony Superbad Harrison, Abel Ramos, another notable name in the welterweight division. What is it about you always wanting to fight the toughest opponent you can get your hands on?
Well, I don't shy away from a challenge. I look forward to tough fights. Win, lose, or draw, I learn and I grow from each and every endeavor I'm in. Every fight that I'm in, I'm just going to continue to progress and evolve as a new fighter. Losses don't get to me. They just make me more hungry to come back better and stronger to prove everybody that, I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and I'm going to keep getting better and better each and every fight.
Now we see your trainer, who's here in attendance, one of the all-time greats in boxing history, Roy Jones Jr. What have you learned from him? I know he helped you in your last fight against Tony Harrison, and now you've had more time to train with him and learn from one of the greatest of all time. How has that experience been so far?
It's been a mind-blowing experience since the day I've walked into the gym. Roy is, he's a genius in his field. And for me, I feel like a kid in a candy store because I'm learning something new every single day. It's really crazy. Like every time I'm done training with him, my mind is tired. Like my brain needs to recover. So it's really incredible experience being with him, and it's exciting to train because it's always going to be something new, and I'm always going to keep growing with that kind of teacher in my corner. I mean, the sky's the limit.
And now we'll turn things over to your opponent, who's undefeated, 14-0 with 9 knockouts, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, but he is from Mexico City. We have our translator, Martin Bartard, here who will be translating for Kevin. And first off, Kevin, you are the younger brother of former super featherweight champion Juan Carlos Salgado. This is your first bout on Showtime here in the U.S. What can fans expect to see from you here this Saturday night?
Bueno, tu hermano mayor, Juan Carlos, es un campeón. Ahora, ¿cuál va a ser tu misión en esta pelea? ¿Cuál va a ser tu objetivo para que puedas empezar a crear tu propio legado aquí en Las Vegas?
Hola a todos, gracias por venir. Estoy muy emocionado por estar aquí. La misión es salir con la mano en alto en esta pelea y empezar mi carrera como una grande estrella en Estados Unidos.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. I'm so excited to be facing this fight, facing this challenge. I feel more prepared than ever. And the goal is to create my own legacy and to become a star here in the United States.
Now, obviously, as I mentioned, your brother, a world champion. What was that like seeing him and his journey to become a world champion? And what has he told you? What have you learned from him? And what it takes to become a world champion at the top of the sport?
Obviamente cuando uno es un hermano menor y ve al hermano mayor lograr el objetivo máximo del boxeo, debiste haber estado súper orgulloso. ¿Te dio algún consejo? ¿Qué te dice él de cara a esta pelea?
Sí, estoy muy orgulloso, muy emocionado de llegar a estas grandes ligas, grandes funciones de boxeo. La meta es llegar a ser campeón del mundo, como no de 2 títulos, sino de los 4 títulos. Él está en mi esquina, me apoya en lo táctico, físico y mentalmente, me apoya siempre.
My older brother is in my corner and he supports me both on the physical, mental and boxing aspects of everything. He gives me great advice and I want to surpass what he did. I want to win not just 2 titles but all 4. I want to be undisputed. I want to be a star here in the US, and that starts now.
And now, obviously, I'm going to ask both of you guys, prediction Saturday night, first with you, Brian. What do you see happening Saturday night?
Whether it ends in knockout, 10 rounds, 20 rounds, it doesn't matter. I'll be looking to put on a spectacular and dominating performance since the beginning of the first bell.
And same question to you, Kevin. What's your prediction this Saturday?
Bueno, Kevin, vaticinio para este sábado, ¿qué va a pasar? ¿Ganás por nocaut? ¿Ganás por puntos? ¿Cómo la ves?
Se esperen una gran pelea, vamos a salir victoriosos y posiblemente llegue el knockout.
You're gonna have to expect fireworks. It's gonna be quite a show. And who knows? You may have to expect a knockout.
Well, there you heard it. That's our opening bout live on Showtime Championship Boxing, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Now we'll move over to our co-main event. Sergio El Niño Garcia, 33-1 with 14 wins by knockout, as he takes on the former world champion Tony Superbad Harrison, 28-3-1 with 21 victories by knockout in a 10-round super welterweight bout. First, starting things off with you, Sergio. You suffered your first defeat in a very tight bout against the man that is right next to you, who is headlining this bout as well, Sebastian Fundora. That was your first fight in the U.S. On Showtime. What did you think of your performance against Fundora, and what did you learn about yourself?
Bueno, Sergio, tu debut en Estados Unidos, tu debut por Showtime, terminó también contigo perdiendo el invicto ante el que está al lado tuyo, Fundora. ¿Cuál es tu conclusión ¿Qué pensaste de esa pelea? ¿Qué lecciones aprendiste de cara a este nuevo desafío?
Bueno, yo creo que saqué todo lo positivo, ¿no? Que fue entrar en Estados Unidos, hacer una gran pelea con Sebastián y afincarnos aquí, ¿no? Y repetir, y ahora hacer con un ex campeón mundial, tener otra oportunidad.
I took only positives from my fight against Fundora. He and I fought a great fight. I learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I plan to apply them now in my second time around. I'm going to be fighting a former world champion, so I'm going to take that experience, take it into a positive, and be even better on Saturday night.
You said that you've always wanted to fight the best in this division, and you certainly did that when you fought Fundora, and now you're fighting another top contender in this division, former world champion, and Tony Harrison. What would a win over Tony Harrison do for your career?
Vos siempre dijiste, quiero pelear contra los mejores, lo está demostrando. Peleaste contra Fundora, ahora vas a ir en busca de Harrison. ¿Qué significaría una victoria este sábado para vos, para tu carrera, para lo que querés conseguir?
Bueno, yo ya he dicho desde el primer momento que no rehuyo pelea, que yo peleo con el que me pongan y quiero pegarme con los mejores, ¿no? De eso se trata, de estar en esta liga, y Samson me está dando las oportunidades y yo quiero cumplir. La pelea con Harrison para mí es como... me lo tomo como Harrison cuando estuvo con Charlo, como un campeonato mundial, porque el futuro de mi familia, de mi esquina y de mi carrera depende de la victoria de esta pelea.
I've said it from the beginning, I don't run or shy away from any kind of fights. Fortunately, Samson Likovic, he gives me the best opportunities. So I feel lucky to have him on my side. As far as the objective against Harrison, I'm going to take it just as he did against Charlo. Like, for me, this is a world championship fight. My legacy, my family's future, my own future depends on the outcome of this fight.
Thank you, Sergio. And now we turn the attention to your opponent. Obviously, from Detroit, Michigan, Tony Superbad Harrison, the only man to defeat current unified super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo, and now you are looking to get back to the top of the division. Tony Harrison, it's been slightly less than a year since you fought Brian Perella, who's on this stage, as we mentioned earlier before. What did you learn in that fight that turned into a draw? And what is it going to take for you to get back to the top of this division?
I mean, for me, it was just a fight. I think I probably took the fight a little too soon for me losing my pops and shit like that. Like, my mind wasn't ready, you know. And it was just like a go fight. And I think I rushed it probably a little too fast. And Brian Perella took the opportunity to come up and wait, not have to lose weight, and come in as strong as possible, and you know, have Roy in his corner. I think everything worked for him for sure. You know, and I thought it was a tight out. I thought I probably put it up, but like I said, the experience for me was no different from any other. I fought plenty of southpaws. I fought tough opponents, and you know, I don't think that I really learned anything in the fight, but just take my time. Some of these bitches don't know how to take their time because they rush and lose fights and then want to do other little whole shit. Little bitch ass nigga. Little bitch ass niggas don't know how to sit back and wait. And then little bitch want to wait and then want to lose and still want to talk about shit that. And then nigga want to lose and still talk about motherfucking body. Shit. Oh yeah, but. Yeah, you a fucking lame ass nigga. You a lame ass nigga.
Let's the fighters here on this stage.
Talk about shit that nigga wanna lose and still talk about motherfucking body. Shit. Oh yeah, but yeah, you a fucking lame ass nigga. You a lame ass nigga.
Let's get you back on stage. Let's leave it to the fighters here on this stage, people. Let's wait for Saturday night. And let's leave it. We got Tony Harrison. He is fighting Sergio Garcia. He's not fighting here. I know there's
He's lucky I missed. He fucking lucky I missed. But
Let's turn our attention, Tony, as we had that little
you
scuffle.
fucking lucky, y'all. I be sick of these bitch ass niggas, man. Like I'm like respect is just is I'm swear to God, if it ain't gonna be given to me, I'm gonna take that shit. Then from here on out, my nigga, it's just it ain't no money involved, ain't none of the bullshit involved. If you ain't gonna give me the respect, I'll take it. So we keep going.
Turning the attention back to Sergio, Tony. As we saw, you mentioned, your father passed away. He was your head trainer for a long time, and now your brother LJ took things over. It was your first fight. I know he's been in the gym with you. He's always been there in your corner, but that was his first time being the head trainer. How has that boxing relationship developed over the past year?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like it's like a family business relationship is so fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's super hard, man. It's almost guaranteed that you in whatever relationship you got with your family is gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up. So you gotta be like fucked up in the head to fuck some shit up that's already not fucked up. You know what I mean? Like me and my brother, we grew up together, man. But the business part of the aspect of the sport that we in, we clash heads a lot. You know what I mean? And so from time to time, it takes us out of our business of being brothers. You know what I mean? So. But it's all cool though, man. For this sport in general, you got to be strong-minded, strong-willed, and strong-minded. Period. So that's nothing that we don't never get over, man. We always kiss and make up. But for me, man, it's just always for me having somebody in the corner that knows me, I know them, that love me, I love them. I think it's like I wouldn't have nobody else in my corner. I think just for this fight in general. My brother is more of a muscle kind of guy. Like he more of a guy that's gonna tell me and get to me because he know how to get to me. He know how to talk to me. He know how to say the shit that need to be said to push me harder. But I think for this fight that's a little different. I brought in brother Fareed, who knows the sweet science of the sport, who was able to add in some of the stuff that my brother was missing. Like I said, I got the muscle and the teacher. Like I said, brother Fareed already touched base on stuff that I already knew from my father. But it just, sometimes we tend to forget or we tend to get sidetracked on what the basis is on the aspect of the sweet science part. And just bringing brother Fareed in just kind of brought that back to my attention. And I got the muscle in the brain. I don't think I can be beat.
What's your prediction? And we'll ask Sergio after you answer. What's your prediction this Saturday night?
You used to be talking no shit. He ain't gonna understand it. So just win, man. Find a way to win, man. The name of the game is just win, man. My uncle always tell me, I don't give a fuck how you do it, just win. So that's the name of the game, man. Just win. Like I said, man, I think this motherfucker that I know nothing about is probably one of the toughest opponents that I probably could have chosen. You know what I mean? Coming off a draw, and I think choosing a guy like that who just fought the guy that was everybody then there was afraid of the fight and took that man to the fucking wire. And I'm like, oh, that's a good gauge. And I like this lineup. In general, the whole card all the way through, everybody's in the same weight, and it's just a way for us to gauge each other. It's a way for me to look at Lubin and Fundora and be like, damn, okay, I see this, I see that. It's a way for them to look at us and say the same thing. It's a way for them to look at so it's just a way for us to be competitive in the same weight class and us to gauge each other. And like I said, man, the best man gonna win. The one that's best prepared gonna win all the way through. But it's an amazing card from top to bottom. And, the best man gonna win all the way through.
And to you, Sergio, what's your prediction this Saturday night?
Bueno, Sergio, primero que nada, Tony decía que él está muy entusiasmado por pelear contra vos por el hecho de que fuiste hasta el final contra Fundora, un oponente al que parece que todos le tienen miedo, ¿no? Y entonces ahora la pregunta de Miguel es, ¿cuál es tu vaticinio para esta pelea contra un rival que claramente te respeta mucho?
Bueno, yo siempre lo digo, ¿no? Que no puedo prometer la victoria siempre que uno lo dice de boca, ¿no? Hay que subir y demostrarlo. Y yo vengo a pelear, yo vengo a por la victoria, ¿no? En el boxeo puede pasar de todo, pero yo entreno por y para ganar y esa es mi intención. Seguro que él también. También quiero decir que no sé lo que le habrá pasado con ese chico porque no entiendo el idioma, pero que le tiene muy enfadado y que los protagonistas del sábado somos Tony Harrison y Sergio García. Chao. ¿ok?
Yes.
Que no se siga el rato,
What
que nosotros somos los protagonistas, nos toca a nosotros ahora.
Alright, so let's do this in 2 parts, okay? So first of all, Tony, Sergio respects you so much and he knows that you are a great champion and he wants you to know that whatever happened with that guy, he doesn't understand English obviously, so he didn't quite understand what was going on exactly, but he wants everybody to know that the protagonists of this fight are you and him, nobody else. So that whatever happened, he wants everyone to know that he's the one fighting you. And as far as the prediction, Sergio is like, I could tell you that I want to win, but what's that worth? I have to show it inside the ring, where my preparation, my training is always with the objective to win. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
My last thing with this, it's so fucking hard to fight guys like him, man. They such good people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he trying to butter you up, and I know he trying to butter me up and give me the love a little bit. But my name of the game is just to win. But it's so hard to fight guys like him, like humble and all, man. I like guys like that just aren't like they get my respect all the way through, and like a class A act, but don't butter me up though before the fight.
Dice que muchas gracias por los elogios, pero que tampoco lo elogies tanto, porque después es difícil pelear contra vos, ¿no? Dice que sos un tipo humilde, que sos un tipo de una clase altísima y que te respeta mucho, pero que bajemos un poquito con los elogios, porque si no, se pone difícil el asunto, ¿no?
Dile que tranquilo, que nos vamos a perder el respeto durante 10 rounds y luego seremos amigos, pero en 10 rounds nos vamos a dar leña.
Oh, don't worry, take it easy because he's gonna lose all respect for you during 10 rounds, then you can be friends again, okay?
That's what you love to see in our co-main event, 10 rounds this Saturday night here. Once again, Sergio El Niño Garcia taking on Tony Superbad Harrison, our co-main event. Now we go to our main event, and one thing I love, it's a super welterweight card, and boxing fans all around want to see the best fighting the best. And one thing I love is this is one of the deepest, if not the deepest division in all of boxing, as you're seeing here. And the best are fighting the best in this division. Tony Harrison, as you mentioned, fought Jermell Charlo twice. Erickson Lubin has also fought Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's fighting Brian Castaño to become the undisputed champion of the division. Sebastian Fundora fought Sergio Garcia not too long ago. And now, Sebastian the Towering Inferno and Erickson the Hammer Lubin are going head-to-head in our main event this Saturday night. I can't wait. I remember when Showtime and PBC rolled out their spring and summer slate. This was a fight that a lot of boxing fans were talking about because it is one of those true toss-up fights between Fundora and Lubin, and I cannot wait for them to get in the ring this Saturday night. First off with you, Sebastian Fundora, as you look forward, you have the biggest fight of your career ahead of you. How important is this for you against a guy like Erickson Lubin, who has won 6 in a row?
It's extremely important, Thank you for everybody coming to this event. I'm glad that everybody's recognizing as a big fight, especially this year with all the fights going on. But I'm very excited to be here, and I just want to put on a good show this Saturday.
What does it mean? You've been on many cards with Premier Boxing Champions. As you see, your promoter, Samson Lukowitz, who, again, he always kept telling us, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this guy. Even when you were fighting on non-TV portions of the cards, and then you slowly moved your way up, you were co-main events, and now you are headlining here on Showtime. What does that mean to you to be in your main event?
It just shows that hard work pays off, All these fighters, we all grew up at the same time, and me and Lubin, both growing up in Florida, it's nice to be recognized and to show that all the hard work pays off eventually.
Now, when you're facing a guy like Erickson Lubin, he has really hit his stride over the last few fights. He's extremely athletic. How do you plan to cut off his mobility in the ring?
I'm not going to say in front of everybody. I'm just going to do what I do on TV. We figure it out on Saturday night.
And now we'll turn to your opponent, Erickson Hammer Lubin, as you have not let the loss against Jermell Charlo define your career. You have come back and won, knocking down top contender after top contender, 6 straight, and now you are on the precipice of getting back to a world title opportunity. This is for the interim WBC super welterweight belt. What have you learned about yourself over the last several years and winning 6 straight?
I've always knew I'll be right back to, title contention. I just dared to be great early. I tried to, unthrone Charlo at an early age. I was like 22 years old. I just had turned 22 years old. And, I was just daring to be great. But I always knew I'd be right back in this position. I always knew I'd be one of the top dogs. I was in that fight. I was in that fight with Charlo with just 3 years of experience as a pro. And now, that it's been almost 5 years since that fight. So my experience only just gets better and better. And I only get better every time I step in that ring. And, I want to show that I'm the best at 154 pounds. And, get into that fraternity of the pay-per-views and the highest paydays. So that's why I'm doing it.
How have you assessed a guy like Sebastian Fundora in his past performances? And I'm sure you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, have been watching a lot of tape. How have you assessed him, and how does that matchup shape up for you?
I mean, we don't underestimate nobody. He's a tall stature of a guy. He's 6'6", 6'7", whatever they want to list him at. But, I think skills pay the bills. We go into camp and we draw up a game plan, and on fight night we execute it to, our best ability. And, he's a good fighter, he comes in shape. But like I said, skills pay the bills.
Now, I know you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, from Orlando, Florida, but you moved your camp to Las Vegas here. And first off, why the change? And in training camp, how have you been able to prepare? I mean, Sebastian Fundora, he's 6'6" at 154 pounds. Were you able to find, sparring similar to mimic the style a little bit, because that is such a unique build?
Yeah, well, we got away because we wanted to be isolated, wanted to be away from, friends, family, no distractions. I leave the gym and I go straight to my room, putting on film, putting on the grades, myself, Fundora, study my tape. But Kevin's a mastermind in this game. He's dealt with multi-world champions. He's dealt with, just some of the greatest fighters in our era. So, I plan to be no different. I plan to come here and do great things. And Saturday night, it's just, the start. It's been started. We just continuing it. It's our legacy.
First off, for you, Fundora, prediction Saturday night, first main event, live on Showtime, Championship Boxing. How do you see it playing out?
Oh, we're just here to win. That's how whatever way it was, like Tony Harrison said, whatever way it is, we're just here to win.
Same question to you, Hammer.
I'm here to make a statement. I'm here to win in dominant fashion.
There you heard it from our main event. And now we'll turn things over to our media members. We have the microphone that will be passed around, so just please raise your hand, state your name and what outlet you are with, and feel free to ask any of the fighters up here your question.
Thanks, Miguel. Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. My question is for Erickson. Erickson, how you doing? Can you learn from something that Tony himself did in that, he was stopped in a title fight and then didn't let that deter him and came back and became a world champion?
Well, for sure. I learned from not just my own loss, but I learned from other people's losses, for sure. But, I'm definitely focused on, my focus after the Charles was just getting back to the top. That was the only thing, just getting back to the top and not letting nobody get in the way.
And Tony, could you just speak to maybe how you've seen Erickson come back from that loss and put himself in the position that he's in now?
I honestly don't think it's a guy hotter than him right now. It's a guy that's been on the fucking, like, the motherfucking win after win after win. Like, it's like, out of everybody up here, I think everybody had their down spots. Everybody had, like, Sergio and Fundora had a tough fight, a tough out, and I think Lubin for the stature of opponent that he's been facing. That's been like he's been stellar. He's been stellar. I talk some shit to him every now and then, but you know, right now I'm gonna give him his props. Like, he been stellar. Like, dude been stellar. His training been stellar. His trainer been talking. I talk more shit to his trainer, but his trainer been talking shit. And but they been walking and talking, man. And I like applaud him. Hats off to him. You know what I'm saying? And they here for a reason. And like I said, best man gonna win Saturday night between him and Fundora. It's gonna be an amazing fight. I'm there as a fan too.
Hi, Ernesto Amador from Universal. No puedes jugar boxeo. I have a question for Sebastian and then Sergio Garcia. Sebastian, they call you the Tower Inferno. Could you tell that this fight is gonna be infernal, and why is that?
I can guarantee that this fight is going to be an inferno because we have the number 1 and number 2 fight for WBC. The next one after this, we're going to be fighting the champion for sure. So we're going to put everything and our all into this fight, and we're going to give you guys a great main event.
So you promise an infernal fight?
I can promise that. I can guarantee you it.
Okay, Sergio, hablando del momento de España, Sergio, regarding the Spain moment, regarding boxing, how's the feeling? ¿Cómo te sientes de ser parte de esta nueva era del boxeo español? How is the feeling to be part of this new era of Spanish boxing?
Bueno, pues estoy muy contento, ¿no? ¿Qué te voy a decir? Estoy para mí en la primera liga y quiero quedarme aquí y así lo quiero demostrar. Yo creo que lo demostré con Sebastián y bueno, hicimos una gran pelea y ahora lo voy a demostrar con Tony.
The fact that I get to represent Spain in such a stage, being here in the major leagues of boxing, is something that doesn't stop being amazing. So I want to show everybody that I have staying power in the major leagues. I think I proved it against Sebastian. I plan to prove it again on Saturday night. So you all are going to have to just wait and see what I have in store for you.
Right here, Steven Cordeno, Carolina Sports. My question is for you, Erickson. Obviously, Sebastian's really tall. When was the last time you faced someone maybe with this much of a height disparity? I don't know, maybe amateurs or.
I fought maybe my 15th fight or something like that. His name was Daniel Sandoval. Fought him. He was like 6'3" almost. You know, pretty tall dude. But you know, I've been in the ring with all types of people. You know, I've been sparring guys 6'6". You know, I've been sparring with Jamonte Clark as well. You know, shouts out to him because, you know, he put his pride to the side. He's one of the top 154 pounders. Came to camp with me, and we put in tremendous work. You know, I had another dude from out here in Vegas. He's about 6'6", so, you know, the height don't mean much to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Skip Brown from Dante's Boxing Nation by way of Aki TV. This question is for both Lubin and Fundora. Do you think that either you're capable of knocking out the other?
Who goes first? He said Lubin or Fundora. Of course, I got dynamite in both hands. I think anybody I get in the ring with, I'm capable of putting them out. You know, but we got a game plan drawn up. We ready to go 12 rounds or we ready to get the stoppage. It don't matter. We here to win.
Same goes for me too. You know, I have power in both hands too. I trust my power, and you know, if it goes a decision like we said before, it does. But if it goes with a knockout, even better.
All right, that is all our questions. We look forward to a fantastic night this Saturday. We're going to have our fighters pose for a photo. And if we could just clear the chairs out of the way. We will have our weigh-ins tomorrow, and then Saturday night from the theater at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Showtime Championship Boxing, Premier Boxing Champions are bringing you an all-action-packed card. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. We look forward to seeing you all watching and attending.
Erickson got to the side. We're going to start with the first fight. So Brian.
Down in front.
Martin.
Down, please. You gotta stay down. Down.
Alright guys, turn and face the front, camera's in the back first. Camera's right down here now.
Let's go, good fella.
You guys got it? Okay. Hang tight, we'll do a group shot at the end.
Ahora que quédate ahí en el escenario un rato, no, ahí.
Sergio? Tony? Grab the middle right here. Good. Sergio, a little closer. Alright guys, turn and face the cameras. Camera in the back first.
Atrás primero.
Camera's down here now. Thank you guys, just hang out, we'll do a group shot at the end. Erickson, here. Good, Sebastian, a little closer.
Let's go, Ham! Big Ham!
Alright guys, cameras in the back first, up top. Down here now. You guys got it? Stay right there, we're going to put the Sergio right here. Ryan right next to him. Tony, go right here for me. Go right next to him. And everyone just look in the back first. Cameras down here too, please. You got it, Esther? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.